Good evening. My name is Jiménez, and today I will be showing you my final derivable for my class of Science and Technology. So to start with, I'm going to explain to you what my experiment consisted of and what my teammates and I discovered at the end of our experiment. So our experiment consisted of selecting two high-performance athletes and two non-athletes to put the four individuals to a 20-minute run and then record the heartbeats of each person after exercising each week. This experiment consisted for 1 month, and each week we recorded the heartbeats of each individual to see their improvement or to see how their heart was responding to, to exercise. And we found out that an athlete's heart rate was much lower than the non-athlete's heart rate. So our research question was, how does the sport affect an athlete's and non-athlete's heart? And we think that athletes who athletes have a much developed heart than non-athletes. So their heart rate must be lower than a non-athlete's. The endurance of athletes tend to have versus the lower resistance rate than other people have. And the heart rate is measured by BPM, beats per minute. That's the term used. The resting heart rate is best measured by sitting or lying down and is essential to be in a calm state. But an average resting heart is usually for 60 to 80 BPM, and athletes tend to have in a resting heart rate beats up to 30 and 40 BPM. That's much lower than a normal person. If you're an athlete or even a person who exercises, a lower BPM is something you don't have to worry about because it's something normal thanks to the fact that an athlete's heart rate is lower because the heart gets much stronger, and when the heart pumps blood, it doesn't need to pump as much faster for the blood to reach all the body. Now, here I'm going to show you about the results that my teammates and I uh, could get from our experiment. Our experiment that lasted 1 month, and in week one we can see that obviously athletes had a much lower heart rate than non-athletes. Obviously, these results could vary because we didn't take into consideration many factors like diet or like the nocive substance abuse like alcohol, and also the 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 height from the individuals. We omitted some of those of those data, but we still managed to do the experiment with the data we thought was necessary. And on week one, as I said, the athlete's heart rate was much lower than the non-athletes. Then on week two, we can see a little improvement on the non-athlete's heart, and also a slight improvement, or maybe up to some athletes increase their heart rate. This depends on sleep or many variables. And on week four, we can see that in fact the an athlete's heart rate an athlete's and non-athletes heart rate was decreased by a considerable amount. So in conclusion, we can say that the sports do increase an athlete's heart rate, and that an athlete will have a lower heart rate than a non-athlete because their heart is much more well developed than a non-athlete. So non-athletes have a much lower heart rate than non-athletes because their heart is more well developed. And like I said, we in this experiment we didn't took into consideration many factors like the diet, and also because of the time limit that we had, we could expand it a little more, but we decided that for 1 month will be enough. And also, I want to talk about the results that we compared with other universities, and other universities uh, match our results. So, with that said, our conclusion is correct, and our experiment passed all the tests that needed to be passed. So I hope I could show you a little more about this topic, about heart rate and athletes and non-athletes, and that you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed. Thank you very much.